You were the AG back in Missouri when that happened. Good morning to you. This is a House hearing, not a Senate hearing. What can they prove?
Well, I testified in front of that committee this morning, Bill, to talk about what we uncovered in our lawsuit, Missouri versus Biden. It was the first of its kind, a landmark lawsuit that alleged and now proven that this was a vast censorship enterprise between big tech and big government. The Biden administration intentionally trying to suppress speech, pressuring social media companies. These social media companies were willing to go along. Special portals were uncovered. The Surgeon General texting senior Facebook officials. Dr. Fauci trying to cover up his role in the origins of COVID. When we found out when Dr. Fauci spoke, big tech censored. So what we uncovered in that lawsuit was significant, and then of course the Twitter files have amplified that. And I don't care what your political stripe is, Bill, in this country. This kind of censorship ought to scare the bejesus out of everybody, that the government, the federal government with its vast power and authority can censor millions of Americans. We can't let it happen again, and that's the work of that committee.
Okay, two specific questions here. You got a deposition from Dr. Fauci, right? And
Yep.
You got a deposition from an FBI agent working on the laptop story. What are we going to learn?
Well, other than Dr. Fauci made the court reporter put a mask on when she sneezed, which was unbelievable in the deposition, but it was very clear that Dr. Fauci funded a third party to do work in the Wuhan, lab there, where the lab leak, now we agree, is the most likely theory of how this came out. He immediately went to work to discredit anybody who suggested the lab leak. He knew it was real. He knew he funded it, but he worked with his social media partners to suppress that and, claim everybody was a conspiracy theorist and claim disinformation. We know that to be true. And then also we deposed an FBI agent who had monthly, then weekly meetings with social media companies, telling them about the potential Hunter Biden laptop story, that it was a hack and leak operation by the Russians. All the while, they already had the laptop. They knew it was real. And so they preemptively tried to discredit that story, and then it was censored. And so these are just two examples. I mean, this spanned across government agencies, Bill. It's really scary stuff. We can't let this happen again. And so that committee is holding hearings on it, and I was there this morning.
Last question. Did they do the same with the Trump team?
No, look, these social media companies were willing partners. However, it is important to note that they coerced, cajoled, and colluded with these companies, threatening to take away Section 230 protections, from the press secretary to Dr. Fauci to the Surgeon General of the United States, using the heavy hand of government to, move them in that direction. The social media companies went along with it. Again, a vast censorship enterprise that we just can't let happen in what's been the freest country in the history of the world.